Hi, everyone. I'm Jessie. I'm the Assistant Director of Children's Ministries, and I'm so excited to be doing this Names of God devotional series with you. I grew up in a tiny church, the kind where you sit in pews real close to your neighbor, and where the pastor led us in hymns every Sunday behind an old wooden pulpit. When I was a little girl, there was a song that stuck out to me when we got into the more modern worship time. It went like this: Jehovah-Jireh, my provider. His grace is sufficient for me, for me, for me. I remember that song as clear as day. Like some of you, there are times where I struggle with anxiety and trusting that the Lord will provide for me, even when everything feels like it's crashing down. I had no idea that hearing God's name as Jehovah-Jireh would impact me in my life so greatly and bring me great comfort. God routinely asks us, his people, to do the impossible. One that can be especially hard is when he says to stop worrying. But is it really possible to live like this? It is, but only if we come to know God as Abraham did. Remember him? God barged into the great patriarch's life, graciously gave him all sorts of staggering promises and blessings. One promise that was especially meaningful to Abraham was the promise of a son. But then, in a terrible test of faith, God asked Abraham to do the unthinkable, to sacrifice his beloved Isaac, the boy Abraham had waited for all his life. It is impossible to imagine what was going on in Abraham's heart in this moment. But Abraham trusted God. With equal parts terror, grief, faith, and confusion, he obeyed. That's when it happened. Just in the nick of time, right when it looked like all was lost, God intervened. He stopped Abraham and called his attention to a ram caught in a thicket, a substitute sacrifice. As a result of this experience, Abraham learned that God doesn't just call his people to action and then disappear. It's the complete opposite. He shows up in the nick of time and supplies exactly what we need. The very thing God demands, he also provides. Abraham, overjoyed with wild, sweet relief, named the place of this miracle, "The Lord will provide." Provide in this case, too, also contains the idea of seeing. In other words, God sees what we need, and then he meets the need. So, my fellow warriors, what impossible thing is God asking you to do today? What do you need in order to live the life to which God has called you? Perhaps as you begin to make your list, you do well to write across the top, Jehovah-Jireh. The Lord will provide. God sees what you need, and he generously supplies it. In what specific ways have you seen God provide for you over the last month?